Good afternoon. Holy moly. You're right, Mr. Day. That works. That works. Thank you. Hey, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to our groundbreaking ceremony today. And I'm going to apologize before I even get started. I'm going to thank a few people, and I could thank 100 people, but nobody wants to listen to me that long. And so I am going to thank some people, and if I leave anyone out, I apologize. There are a number of people that I'm kind of watching to see if they are able to get here this afternoon to introduce. And so if I miss someone, I do apologize. I do want to recognize our board members. We have 3 board members with us today. Mr. Doug DeVito, Mrs. Joanne Nelson, and Mrs. Lori White. Mr. Bruce Briggs and Mr. Steve McLaughlin could not be here today. Mr. Briggs may show up at some point. I also want to welcome Mayor Merrill and John. And I know some of these guys are here, and I want to thank them. We have a facility core committee that we've met every Wednesday for about 2.5 years. It seems like 10, but I think it's only been 2.5. And I want to thank them. It's Grant Millern, Scott Harvey, Bruce Briggs, Libya Natra, myself, representatives from the architectural firm, the construction management firm, and I also want to say we have with us today former Superintendent Brian Neff, who served on that committee for 2 years and actually formed that committee and did what you see going on behind me is due to Mr. Neff's legwork and tireless efforts to get that bond issue passed so we can build this facility. And I want to thank him very, very much. Also in the crowd, we have our intern architect, Miss Rachel Yarger, Mr. Todd Robleski, and Dave Lay, who is the field coordinator for MKC. Neither one of those 2 gentlemen could be here today. Actually, I do see Mr. Robleski coming down the drive, and I do appreciate their help. Construction manager Scott Haddock could not be here. But our construction superintendent, Eric Hedeman, will be living in Shelby for the next 2.5 years. He has rented a house over on Shelby Avenue, and it's kind of like, where's Waldo? The odds are you can probably pick him out in the crowd down there somewhere. I won't point him out, but I want to welcome Eric Hedeman today. All these people are huge help. And, also we have, I'm not sure if Brad's here, but I wanted to make special mention of City Utility Director Brad Harvey, City Project Coordinator Joe Geis, and the city's consulting engineer Ray Lincheski. These gentlemen have worked behind the scenes to make this a reality, and I want them to know, I hope they understand how much we appreciate all the work they have dedicated to this project. And if we could give all these people a round of applause, I would certainly appreciate it. Now, we also have mingled among us BAC members, of which there are approximately 40 in the district, and they have worked off and on for, again, the last couple years, helping to design this building and giving ideas on how to pass the levy and all these types of things. And like I said, there are 40 or 45 members, and I'm not going to try and mention each one of them, but I certainly, again, I hope that they understand how much we appreciate their efforts. Mr. Neighbors and the Melowettes, thank you for being here today. Cheerleaders, thank you. And members of the Shelby Whippet Marching Band and Mr. Day, thank you guys very much. We also have with us today 5 freshman student council members. Joe Emerson, Rachel Geis, Jared Hostetler, John Mesker, and Gabby Stevens, and they're going to be sharing some thoughts with us here in just a few moments. I've thanked these people. Most importantly, I want to thank the people of Shelby. If this wasn't such a fantastic community with great community members, we wouldn't be standing here today watching these machines move dirt behind me and getting ready to build a 9 through 12 facility that's going to be state of the art. And so I want to make sure the people of Shelby understand that I appreciate their efforts. I think all of us appreciate their efforts and how much they support the Shelby City Schools. This building is going to be a very visible means of realizing how much they support their schools. But you and I, all of us know that it's the little things that are done every single day in this community that make Shelby a special place. And, you know, my dad was born and raised here. He chose to raise his family here. And he, you know, growing up, I wasn't always aware of why he made those decisions, but now I'm 53 years old. I can't believe it myself. I know now what he's known his entire life, and Shelby's a fantastic place to raise a family. We stick together, we work hard, we have high expectations for our kids and our community, and we support our educational system. And that's why I'm proud to be superintendent of this school system. And I want the people of Shelby to know, I've said this before, I'm going to say it one more time at least. We're not going to build the Taj Mahal. We're not going to throw money away at this building. The money we spend on this building is going to be well thought out, it's going to be within budget, and we're not going to waste the taxpayers' money. And what it will be, however, as I said just a minute ago, is a state-of-the-art facility that is going to give the children of this community, your grandchildren someday, generations to come, the opportunity at an educational opportunity that has been unmatched in this community and that will lead them into the 21st century. And I want to thank the people of Shelby for that. And I'm sincere about those thoughts and feelings, and I can't wait until this building opens in 2.5 years and we get that opportunity to see them set those wheels in motion. Now, I would like to introduce Mayor John, and she would like to say a few words.
First of all, Tim, thank you for trying out the microphone. And thank you for ordering this beautiful weather. Could we have a better day than this in November in Shelby, Ohio to celebrate a new school building? So thank you for ordering this weather. I was part of the BAC, and back when we were working on the levee, for anybody who doesn't know, my father-in-law is Mel John, and he was part of Shelby City Schools for many years, and we were doing some research and looking up some things, my husband and I were, and we found a letter from Byron Carmine about the building of the current high school and what was happening in the community then, and how the community of Shelby got behind the school system then and supported them in their efforts to build a new school, and how that has, the impact that has had on our community to really form our future leaders, and many of you who are standing here today, the education that you received because of the hard work of a community in Shelby back in the 1960s. It is our opportunity to carry on the torch of what that community was then and what we are now. And I'm very proud to be part of a community that does carry on the torch and does support our local schools the way the community of Shelby does. I think it was yesterday, Mr. Geis and I were in the office, and he was talking about some of the great things that are going on in our community right now with the work on the Floodplain Management Commission, and a new police court building being built and a new high school being built, and the impact that the work we are doing today is going to have on the future generations of our community, and how exciting that is to be a part of this movement. So thank you all for being a part of that. There's a scripture that talks about such a time as this. This is why we're here, is for such a time as this. And this is why we're here, is for such a time as this, to see the earth move behind us and see a building come up out of the ground that will educate future generations for the city of Shelby. So thank you for being a part of it, and thank you for supporting Shelby City Schools.
Thank you, Marilyn. Next, we'd like to introduce Mr. Doug DeVito, President of the Board of Education.
Thank you, Tim. I'd like to reiterate some of the thank yous that Tim mentioned. The core committee has really stepped up, and the amount of time and effort that has gone into their accomplishments cannot be understated. And I just like to take time to thank those people again. Also, Brian Neff, his work was instrumental. He chose to hang up the Going Fishing sign, which he denies, but and pass that torch on to Tim, and Tim has run with it. Historically, Shelby has always stepped up when there's been a need. If you watch any of the fundraising for different causes, Shelby steps up, and this new school is no different. There was a need, and the city of Shelby stepped up to the plate, and it was tough. It's hard on everybody. Nobody wants to part with that money that they worked so hard for us. But for the next 50 years, we will have an outstanding facility, and ultimately it is about our children and our children's children, and they'll have an opportunity to be taught in a outstanding facility. Also, in closing, I'd just like to say thank you to Shelby for allowing me to be part of this process and be part of the educational system for the last 4 years. I've learned a lot. I think the district has grown. We have people in place to continue with the success academically, athletically, socially, and I just want to thank Shelby for the opportunity to serve. Thanks.
Thank you, Doug. Freshman student council members, I've changed my plans a bit. Rather than you coming up one at a time, I'm going to have you all come up right now. We're going to go through in order, but that way it's not tripping over the issue. So why don't you, all 5 of you, come up right now. And what we did is I contacted Mrs. Mahon, who's a student council advisor, and she got together with her freshman members. And the reason we chose freshmen, I hope my math is right. All right, that was a social studies teacher. But if nothing speeds up or slows down with this construction process, we're probably going to get done in February, March of 2014. All right? They will be juniors at that point. They should spend any unforeseen problems, barring any unforeseen problems, they should spend their entire senior year in this building, and they will be the first group to do that. And so we asked them to write some essays, and these 5 individuals wrote very, very nice essays, well thought out, and we would like them to read them to you today. And we're going to go in alphabetical order, and the first individual is going to read their essays, Joe Emerson.
The new Shelby City High School will be a valuable and important addition to the Shelby City School District. It will have a great impact on both the community and individuals like me. The new school will influence the way I learned and functioned in school activities. It will provide a new learning environment with more resources to be used in the classrooms. It will also create new possibilities for extracurricular events with the addition of new performing arts centers and school athletic centers and gyms. The new Shelby High School will also give students like me more availability to current tools and technology for education. The community will also benefit from this new high school as well. Along with keeping our schools in areas located out of the floodplain, it will help the city save more money. The new schools will eliminate the need for the upkeep of old crumbling schools like the Shelby Middle School. It will also save us from the possibility of another major flood could lead to the emergency transfer of students to other buildings for schooling. A good school system can attract new businesses and keep Shelby's economy alive. Most importantly, it will help us become a better educated community that can be confident in their ability to advance.
Thank you, Joe. Next up, we have Rachel Geis.
In 2000, 2014, 3 years from now, our community, faculty, and students will have a great new dependable building. The new high school was not only a much-needed building, but a much-deserved one too. The students and faculty work hard every day, despite the conditions of the buildings, so this will be much more functional for them. Therefore, I know that it will mean a lot to all of us. It just so happens that my class will be the first to graduate from the new school. As a representative, I would like to say thanks to my community which made it possible, and thanks to all the people that put time and effort towards our new school. I am very honored to be a part of the class of 2015 and to be given this opportunity. Not only will this be beneficial to the students and teachers, but it will give the community members a place to gather for sporting events, meetings, shows, and fundraisers. After all, I think that we will all be very excited to have such a great asset in Shelby. Thanks to my community, many generations to come will have a safe and dependable school.
Thank you, Rachel. Jared Hostetler is next.
A new high school for the city of Shelby. What an accomplishment. This shows how our city always pulls together for the greater good of the community. I feel honored to be one of a few young adults to graduate first from this new building in 2015. I'm only saddened by the thought of only being in this building for one short year, though it brings me joy to know that younger generations will have a chance to go through this building. I wish safety to the men constructing this building and a quick construction. Also, thank you to all the people who voted for the building of this new school. Go Whippets.
Thank you, Jared. John Metzger would speak next.
Shelby's new school means a lot to me and my community. To me, the new school will provide me with an opportunity to learn in a better facility with more up-to-date technology. To our community, it will be a great place to learn for many generations. Students will continue to take pride in Shelby. It will also be a more cost-efficient use of taxpayers' money. This new school shows that despite this tough economy, flooding, and fewer businesses in the area, our community knows that it's important to invest in the education of Shelby's youth. Therefore, the new school means a great deal to me and our community.
Thank you, John. And finally, as I told Gabby, we're saving the best for last. Gabby Stevens.
What the new school means to the community and myself is a new beginning for the town of Shelby. The new school means higher standard of education for all students. It also means a better learning environment. But most importantly, the building of this school symbolizes the many new and wonderful changes this town is about to embark on. This school is a great way to start our journey to the new and improved Shelby, Ohio.
Thanks, guys. Now, we're not sure how this is actually going to work, but we're going to give it a groundbreaking shot. You know, we haven't practiced anywhere. And so I would like each student to grab a shovel right behind you and watch the flag. It's you know, we got it fairly warm around, but I couldn't get the wind to die down out here. Hard to believe. We're on the tundra. All right? Come out in front of the flag.
They don't know how to dig. John does.
Want everyone looking at you for the picture for the newspaper. Come out, John. Come on, John.
Thank you, guys. I would next like Mr. DeVito Mrs. Nelson, Mrs. White, Mrs. Sinatra, and Mrs. Urban to come up and man a shovel. Or female a shovel. Big round of applause. Thank you. Our last group, Mayor John, Mr. Neff, Mr. Miller, Mr. Harvey, and I'm going to throw myself in there. Now, I want to say one thing real quickly. The gentleman passing behind me right now does not like his name to be mentioned, but so I won't mention his name. But what a fantastic individual, and our community benefits from his goodwill and his generosity on a daily basis, and I think everybody understands that. I want to make sure he knows that we know that, and I thank you for all your help in this endeavor, Mr. Miller. Scott Harvey down there, I've always said something about Mr. Neff. Scott Harvey, I would hate to go through this project without Mr. Harvey being somewhere nearby. And now, he and I may not feel that way about each other, a year or 6 months from now. But these four people up here have given us support every step of the way, and I thank them so much for that. Next time we do this, I'm going to have Mr. Harvey come out and water the area. Holy moly. Good point, Eric. Now, hey, one thing. I'm going to introduce Meloettes in just a second. But before we do that, I'd like everybody to stand. We're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Meloettes, be careful of the flag. Come around this way. The end of shovels. I do my one good eye. I've got to say thank you to the Malouettes. If you notice, I was standing back about 20 feet that way. I told them, I said, don't let anybody hear me singing into the microphone, for crying out loud. And band, thank you so much. That concludes our ceremony. Now, I will say this. If someone would like to come up and get their picture taken, or turn a shovel in the dirt, and you've got someone out there who wants to take your picture, please feel free to come up. You can take a better look at the site from up here. Thank you all very, very much for coming, and we'll see you soon. If you have any questions about this construction site or the upcoming renewal levy, please give me a call. Thank you very much.